Hello, everyone. This is Tom, your host for the Hidden Truths channel. How's everybody doing this evening? I hope you're doing well. Well, tonight we're going to get into a series subject of social media and how the Chinese are using it to spy on us, and how it's being used to the surveillance state to take over everything. Anyway, we're all going to tie it together. I don't know how long it's going to go tonight. We'll all see how long the chat gets. Anyway, hope everybody's been enjoying my channel today. I guess maybe I shouldn't take too much of a day off, huh? I didn't post too much yesterday. It gave me a lot of energy today. So this is my ninth. Well, I did 7 shorts. Then I did a live stream for another prepping channel. And now I'm doing a live stream for this channel, which I try to do nightly. Anyway, so busy day on YouTube. So I hope they're getting enough of me. I tell you what, it's not like I don't put out the content. So, but there's a lot of stuff going on, and the word needs to get out. Truth needs to get out, doesn't it? Plus, it is what it is. I'm not going to stay silent through all this stuff. Hey, Amanda, how's it going? Well, we're going to have a good discussion. Hey, you've been enjoying my shorts and stuff today? I tell you what, this is what happens when the old wolf takes the day off. I get a lot of energy for the next day. So, I don't know. Have you ever gone over to my Lone Wolf Prepper Lives channel? I got a prepping channel. So, anyway, that's less, that's more about prepping. So try not to go into politics in that channel. By the way, we're going to have a good discussion tonight. Especially somebody that came, remembers the Cold War years and about FBI putting bugs in your houses and stuff. All right. To what we have today. I wanted a t-shirt, LLU. Gave Carol one. Yeah, I got to order some more, okay? I got to order some more. This is when I had my other channel, and Carol was, a great subscriber back then, and I got some t-shirts made up. And see, this is the thing. I'm not going to charge anybody for anything on this channel either. So when I can afford it, and I got this other guy we used to listen to, Sonny, I got his t-shirt still. I wanted to get an Impeach one, but he didn't want one. But yeah, Carol's got a one and only. I like it. Anyway, but yeah, we got some people shut up. Let's get into the subject, okay? Mass media, China using it to spy on us with TikTok, and the surveillance state that we got that's using it and stuff. I mean, this is the thing. Could you imagine if Hitler would have had this ability, this type of power, this type of information over his people? Crazy time. Or Stalin? Okay. But this social media, I think it's turned into something that they weren't expecting. And, it wasn't police. See, how do you police free speech? I don't think you should do that either. But, oh, great. We got thunderstorms coming in. Anyway, we need the rain. I love having a green lawn in July because you don't normally have a green lawn in July here unless you have a sprinkler system. It's causing problems everywhere. Exactly. I remember when the last pope said that the internet was a gift from God. My God. J99, how you doing out there in Maine? I got a question about Maine. Okay, I was a scuba diver, right? But I never dove the East Coast. I always was out on the West Coast or over in the Med or out over in Europe and Indian Ocean area, right? Can you really, like in Washington State, I got what they call a personal use license. It cost me $5. And when I went diving, I could, put on my gear and go get my stuff under the water. That always pissed the crabbers off, right? They be on the docks with their nets and stuff, and I'd walk out there with all my gear. And I made sure I stayed far enough away from their nets. But within 10 minutes, I came up with my limit. You know, I'm underneath the water. I get behind them. I pick them up. I measure them and stuff. Make sure they were a male. And in my sack they went. Crabbing's real easy with scuba gear. Extremely easy. And anyway, can you do that with lobster out there? If I could do that with lobster in Maine, oh, I'd be in the water all the time. Anyway, can you do that in Maine? I was just wondering about that. I always wondered about that. Could you go diving and just start grabbing lobsters or put traps out and get lobster if you got a little feed? God, I'd love to eat lobster 3 or 4 times a day. I mean, not day, but 3 times a week for sure. I love lobster. Maybe I get sick of it by then, but I don't know. Anyway, back to the subject. Woo, that was way off course there. Anyway, but this mass media thing. Now, China with TikTok. Imagine if a foreign enemy could have a social media platform in their enemy's country that everybody, I'm not on it, but everybody's addicted to, right? But I've seen videos on it, right, that have been posted on YouTube channels that I watch with people that are, you know how many videos, how much information they get every day from people that are putting out content that they don't even know is tactical, military, strategic information for the protection of our country. They don't even know it. And once these Chinese people that go over all these videos see somebody that's giving them good intel that they want, well, they keep watching that type of stuff. I mean, this country is just allowing a lot of spying to be done. I mean, China's just loving it all. And then seeing all the crazy shit that's going on. You know, one thing about China, they're into the long haul, okay? If it takes 30 years for the United States to fall to the point where we got Chinese troops on the ground and they just walk into our country, they'll wait 30 years to get what they own, okay? They have patience. You know, they want to make sure that they leave their children, you know, somewhat better. I don't know, in a communist state what's better, but they still have capitalism there. I'm not sure quite how that all works. Sounds to me more like Nazism mixed with communism there. But anyway, it's authoritarian, whatever it is. But our big business likes it, you know. Can get some cell phones made real cheap there and factories that have suicide nets around them so people can't even jump off and kill themselves to escape the shit they're in. You know, I like to say one thing. Last night I had a video, is the human being starting, or is the human race starting to go insane? And this is just a continuation of it. Where you sit there, people, I mean, the big thing when I was growing up watching all these TV shows, I mean, God, the FBI plants a bug in your house and stuff. And, you know, it was just, you weren't spied on any shape, way, or form. You had your privacy. Now people are going to these stores and buying lamps and refrigerators and television sets and stoves and God knows what else that's listening to them as they're walking through their house. Talk about insanity. That's why I don't ever have to worry about anybody stealing from me. I mean, yeah, I'm on social media. I realize that. But what I'm putting out on social media, I don't care that they hear. Believe me, the stuff I don't want them to know, they don't know. But the truth needs to get out there, and I guess I got to sacrifice a little bit of my privacy to maybe be able to get my privacy back. I'm not afraid to spread the word and say, hey, we all need to organize and end this shit. Because like I say, we're sure finding out that it's the wings of the same bird, aren't we? And the bird sure is protecting itself. Hey, Carol, how are you doing tonight? Hey, I'm sorry I missed your first one. Yeah, hi, Carol, how are you doing tonight? So appreciate all my moderators being here. I like that. Keeps you notice we don't have a problem with Joey no more. But also, since we don't have a problem with Joey no more, YouTube don't like sending, the views drop. I don't care. You know what? Everything's going forward. Even if you're putzing on the interstate 5 miles an hour on the shoulder, and you know you got 40 miles to go, as long as you're going forward, you're going good. And every once in a while, when they put me out in traffic, all of a sudden, I'm doing warp 1. Whatever. That's when I realize I know that I need Carol's help. One day, if this channel ever explodes, she'll be the brains of the operation. Of course, I haven't told her that yet, but I think she probably heard it now, huh? Anyway, yeah, okay. I tell you what, Amanda, when I'm able to afford to order some more shirts, I'll go get some and stuff. And like I say, I'm not gonna take money, so I don't want to get into that exchanging fun shit. I got my moderators. If I can't get my moderators a shirt, but the thing is, do you want a Hidden Truth shirt with it's got the emblem here, and I'll say member of the Truth Squad or something, and then in the back, on the whole back of the shirt, it'll have the thumbnail from my channel with the channel's address and stuff. But it probably won't be able to be in black because of the way the background is and stuff. You know how I got that thumbnail picture? That was another thing. I saw so many strange skies out when I was out there in the ranch in the Sandhills. By the way, I looked outside one night, looked outside my deck, and the sky's blue with this full moon and stuff. And I'm like, this would be a perfect thumbnail shot. And I've been accused of this being AI. No, it's not. So I positioned myself on the deck with my phone and stuff, and I got a couple snapshots and stuff. I mean, I think it's a cool thumbnail. I didn't have to go to the internet to it. I made it up myself. Resourcefulness. But anyway, yeah, I'll get my moderators all the shirt when this poor man can afford it. So anyway, I want you all to be in uniform now. It's just you'll have to sit there like Carol did. And when it comes time for that, and Carol sent me her address, and then I sent her the shirt through the mail. Plus, you get a pen too, a writing pen. So, anyway, that's how I do it and stuff. And when it comes time for that, and obviously I'm a secure guy, Carol hasn't had any strange visitors at her house or anything, but I do like her address. I thought it was made up actually when I first saw it. I'll pay for it and the shipping. Yeah, but see, I live a really simple life. The only way you can really send it is where I could get it would be Walmart to Walmart. I mean, I have a bank account, but I won't get into that. And I don't have none of this other PayPal or this or that. When my channel gets big enough where I get monetized, I'm going to have to deal with the financial end of YouTube. And maybe I'll go to where I don't want to sell merch because then I'm a damn station that I hate. But I want to sit there, and I would love to sit there. I don't know what kind of response Carol's get, but the response I get when I walk through Walmart or whatever with my Lone Wolf Prepper shirt on or around town, I wear it everywhere. But I get the double take all the time. Hell yeah. That's how you make an impression. Anyway, The only reason I'm not rich is because I don't want to be rich. I don't like the stress that comes with money. I don't like it. Money's a necessary evil in today's world, I realize. And, if you're willing to pay for it, Amanda, my email address is reaganmarine1986 @gmail.com. And you can send me reaganmarine1986 @gmail.com. And drop me a message. Don't give me your address or nothing anymore yet. But anyway, we'll figure something out. But the thing is, too, I want to do it in a way. I want to be able to give you something. You're doing something for me. But I understand. Like I say, sometimes I live maybe a poorer life than I should. When I get really stressed out at society, that's what I do. I become more of a hermit. More of a hermit. It's more of a way I can sit there and kick back at the system and say, screw you, I'm not working for you. I'll live on next to nothing, whatever it takes. We're generous people. I appreciate it. But we'll figure something out. I need another few hundred, not even a few, a couple more subscribers. Maybe I'll get them. That's one thing. This channel will never ask for money or donations or sell anything. But if you want to support the channel, hit the thumbs up, the subscribe, and the bell notifications. Help get the word out. That's the important thing. See, that's the thing on YouTube. I realized at one point, if it grows like it does, it grows real good. When you get 200 subscribers plus and 100,000 views in 8 days, and your channel doubles in size in that time. Okay, not in views, but close. But anyway, and then they just chop it down. I realize that it has the potential to explode. Okay, and then I'm gonna need all of you. And believe me, if I'm making money on this channel, the people that are working for it, nothing's free in this world. So, but I hate money. When I was in the Marine Corps and traveled the world, and we were the richest country in the world, and the Soviet Union was falling apart and shit, and I saw what money did. Being rich was never within, the top million things I ever want to do in life. I've turned down things where I could have became extremely wealthy because I just didn't want it. Like I say, some people aren't meant to be rich. Some people ain't meant to be famous. And people, you're on YouTube. No, I'm not trying to be famous on YouTube. I'm trying to spread the word on YouTube. And when we get our country back, and if I'm making money on YouTube, I'm going to make people laugh on YouTube. I want to make people laugh. Because I do believe social media is the new Hollywood, where people actually produce and direct and all that. We're actually going to get better quality stuff. And hopefully not with AI. Hopefully we go to channels that go back to the old style. But I would like to create a skit type show like, not like Carol Burnett, but, like the Red Green Show, something like that, Yeah, unscripted too. I love doing live streams. It's what fits me the best. I don't have no problem. I got such good education, right? Anyway, I don't have a problem getting up in front of, this is what's strange about me being a lone wolf, right? I don't have a problem getting up in front of I don't care if it's 10 million people, and give me a subject to discuss, and I'll talk about it. Try to do the best I can at doing a speech. It's just after the speech when I got to go mingle with everybody. That's when I start getting claustrophobic feeling and stuff. I don't know what it is. I suffer. What would you call, what they call when you got a phobia of people? What would you call that? No, I got a phobia of people just since I've been in the Twilight Zone. Because I remember years back, I wasn't quite like this. But okay, should we get back to the subject and stuff? See, there I go off on a tangent. That's the best thing about live stream. You never know what's coming next. Okay. But let's get back to China using TikTok to spy on us. I mean, and then we got our members of the armed forces that are posting TikTok videos. Okay, let me tell you something. When you join the service, you give up some of your rights. You flat out do. You become, well, it used to be, you became property of the government. Basically, that's what it was. And you had 132 rules to follow in the UCMJ. But anyway, now they're letting these people post on social media. You shouldn't be allowed to do that. I mean, I don't know how they keep operational security anymore when people can sit there and call home when they're on a ship. I mean, if people had to call home on our ship because of family death or whatever emergency, they had to call home. We used ham radio operators. We had ham radio on the ship, and we went through ham radio operators. Now they have instant. I don't know how they keep operational security. You know, back then, if you sat there and told ship movements and stuff, that was something that could get you thrown in the brig for a very, very, very long time. Now they just post it all over the damn news, where this carrier group's going to be crazy time. Operational security. I know the military has changed a lot since I've been in. I probably have a hard time recognizing it anymore. And then this old man would go out and do, let's go do a PT run. And all of a sudden, the young guys would be falling out. I'd be like, what the hell's going on here? Oh, I don't know about that. I hope the military is getting better, okay? Intel looks are very common today. Intel leaks are very common today, yes. Okay. Now, with all these videos that China's getting fucking every hour on TikTok, all this content that's being downloaded, they don't need. Why people say they have spies here? What the hell do they need spies for? Americans are doing just a fine job themselves. Got some Americans sitting there filming something they want to see, and they just sit there and glean that video for the intel they need. Why do they need some Chinese person standing out there with a camera looking suspicious? And why, and this is another thing. China is creating men to go to war. What they see on TikTok, why would they have any reason to be scared to go to war with our country, a conventional war? Why would they be scared at all? I mean, think of what they see on TikTok of our younger male generation. The complete insanity that's going on in the streets. I mean, the videos turning. We have men competing in women's sports. Need I say more? I know I would never fear a man that competed against women and thought he was a badass bitch. I'm just saying, the Chinese are using TikTok and Trump's allowing it. Okay? And these people that are in the service making these videos shouldn't be allowed to do that. They shouldn't be allowed to do that. I don't care if they're a cook. Okay? An intelligence agency can glean information. They shouldn't be allowed to do that. What was the last good thing you've done for a stranger? I do a good deed every day, sir. That's one of my goals every day. to do a good deed for a stranger. Whether it's opening a door, I'll help anybody that's broke down along the street. Anything to do a good deed where I get them a little bit better day instead of somebody going around to give them a bad day. Does that answer your question? So, what time is it now? About 4.5 hours ago. Does that work? When's the last time you did something good? That you didn't get paid for. You get paid for a good deed. It's no longer a good deed no more, buddy. No longer. See, this is how you shut those people down. Bye. There's my good deed. But see, I'm a different type of individual. People have a hard time understanding me. For one thing, I don't worship money and I can't be bought. Nobody would live in the conditions. I mean, I live in civil conditions. I have a ringer washer. It works. I got a stove. It works. I got a wood stove for the wintertime. It works great. You know, my internet, I don't have internet. I do all this through my phone. And when I go live on my computer, I use my hotspot on my phone. It cost me $62 a month to be able to do all this on YouTube and have my internet and my telephone. That's how I live. Anybody else would be $300 bill. See all the extra hours people have to work that I don't have to work because they decide to live a life where, you know, they waste money. Anyway, but people have a hard time figuring me out. I can't be bought. I mean, this is what happens. I've made shorts on this. What do you do to somebody that can't be tempted? Okay? I can't be tempted with money, drugs, women. I love to be a humble, poor individual. You know, people just can't quite figure me out. And I've done a ton of shit in my life. I've lived like 5 freaking lifetimes in the last 50, well, I'll be 58 next month. 58 years. I was one of them that always went around to see what next mountain I could go over and see what I could learn while I was on my journey. I have done a lot of things. A lot of things. And if I haven't done them and I'm interested in it, I'm going to learn them. But I don't have to make stories up. You know, I've lived an adventurous life. I loved it. And still was able to have a family. And when the kids got a little older, we separated stuff. I was still spent time with my kids. But this was my philosophy on it. You know, when I was with my second wife, we were raising our children. I wanted to be a good father and a good husband. Well, my wife decided that she didn't want me no more. But I still decided. So plan B was to still be a good father, but go see the frickin' world because I didn't have no ties on me. And that's what I did. You know, and plus I saw the world in the Marine Corps, but I went out and experienced the United States. So people, you know, you can come up with this. And I would say I have a very cultured education, you might say, and a very extensive education because I never stopped learning. I learn new stuff every single day. Man got to know his limitations. Why? See, this is one thing, people. What happened to me in the Marine Corps got rid of my governor. And what do I mean by that? Back in the Egyptian days when they had communication between governments, they would have runners that would run 100 miles nonstop in the desert heat to the next runner. You know why? Because they didn't realize they couldn't do it. Nobody ever told them they couldn't do it. You know, in the service, I have pushed my body beyond limitations where I've done some pretty crazy shit. Okay, my governor is gone. I have no governor no more. You know, my limitations is basically dependent on the force that I'm facing. Okay, meaning, you know, I don't know what my limitations are. Hey, I don't know what they did to me. You know, when your chest grows 7 inches in 3.5 months, stretch marks like crazy, faster, stronger. I mean, I benched 410 and I weighed 185. Anyway, boldly go where no one has gone before. Oh, yeah. That was one thing as a kid. I always wanted to be an astronaut. I wanted to go to the moon. And, of course, my life didn't take that path. But I figured as I got older, when I'm talking after Marine Corps days, I figured if they figure out a way to make money on the moon, I can go up there as an employee. Okay. I'm still hoping for that. But they're going to have to get space travel a little bit more safer. Like I say, that's one hill I haven't gone over yet, okay? So I may need a little help with that one. And let these UFOs land out here one night, want to take me to the moon for a couple spins, take me on the dark side of the moon so I can see what's all back there and shit. Hey, you never know in today's world, because there's no list. Perhaps you're suffering from anxiety. Oh, I don't know if I'd say that. You have an evil laugh. Do I? I don't think this Patrick Rowell likes me. Somebody want to get rid of him? Anyway. So. But, thank you. Here, let me go into here and put on a 60-second delay so we don't have to deal with butt heads. I don't like putting it on, but it is a nice tool to have to get rid of trolls. Because if a troll wants to stay on my channel once a minute and put a message on that's going to get deleted, I'm all fine with that because it adds to my hours. Just comments, it adds to my analytics and makes my channel better. So, you know, they're more welcome to stay, and then maybe they'll get smart enough and decide to turn into an adult. Good evening, Tom. Hello, Guardian. How's it going, Dave? Oh, are you my Marine Corps buddy? Weren't you the Semper Fi guy last night? Anyway, I'm all new at this and stuff. Appreciate you being here. We're just talking about, you know, spying like crazy. Oh, and then let's not forget about the AI that's going to get thrown all on top of this, and we're going to put computers in charge of this, okay? Yeah. And then let's talk about, we did a little bit over Chinese spying, TikTok and stuff, and getting all the information they need. Like somebody lives, they can ping their phone. Oh, this person lives next to a military base. We're going to check out all the videos they put on TikTok. Understand how it works? And they don't even have to do a lot of research. And this is what brings me to the surveillance state we got, right? If you got a phone in your hand, okay, you can't take the battery out of it no more. They can ping it at any time. These cops already know everything about you. If you, skim the law a little bit, or if you break the law a lot, they got all that information. Like Levente Berrien said, he was Stalin's, I know a lot about history. He was Stalin's secret police chief. And he said, show me the man and I'll show you the crime. And they didn't even have close to the surveillance state we have. But with somebody's phone, you know, all their contacts, where they're going, how long they're staying at these residences. And then you can go to all those people and go to all those people's contacts and stuff. And their text messages to the, I mean, they know everything, people. Everything. Now, somebody like me who's living a simple life and be like, damn, this guy hasn't left that 10 acres for the last 2 weeks, okay? What's there to see? Hi, Carol. Hello. Good to meet you. Hey, Dave. But, you know, these other people, you know, like that Idaho shooter, right? They were pinging his phone. Like, I've got my theories behind that one. I don't want to get into that, but that's not all on the up and up with me. Anyway, but the surveillance state, they want to know what you're doing. All they got to do is get even if they have to get it anymore, a warrant for all the information on your phone. Everything. And some people actually don't, a lot of people don't realize this is going on. I mean, we want to go with guilt by association. That all works for us, but if you're connected to Epstein, that's not guilt by association. Uh-oh, I said the dreaded E word. Hide shit in this country. You know, this is the thing about this surveillance state. They are using all this information to sit there and divide us, get us at each other's throat, find a way to control us, and find a way to categorize us. You know, I'm already on a list, not only because I'm a Marine, but now because I'm on social media, and I really don't like what Trump's doing. And I think it's time for American patriots and vets to do something about it. Whether it's on the front line fighting or doing support roles, making stuff they need. Was the list? Wait for aliens. Stole it. Hey, Amanda, did you see my Predator versus Predator short? Gotta check that out. I don't know if anybody ever seen that movie, Predator versus Predator. It's where the Predator's got this island, right? And the new generation Predators got this island because the old generation Predators trying to stop it. That's why it's Predator against Predator, right? Anyway, they're dropping these killers on these islands, these trained assassins and just, you know, downright people that can take care of themselves and take care of other people. But this one character with them that got dropped with him was just a normal guy, right? You know, looked like he had no skills, especially to defend himself. Well, he's with a bunch of highly trained assassins, right? You know, from all different parts of the world and stuff. And he just don't fit in. And through the whole movie, we're trying to figure out why the hell is this guy with all these other people that aren't like him, okay? Because he's a wimp. He's a beta male. Well, at the end of the movie, you find out he's the most deadliest person out of all of them. He was a psychotic serial killer, okay? Hiding behind his mask. I think he was like a dentist or something like that. So, well, the most obvious bad people, like in our prisons, the most obvious dangerous people we have, right, are in our prison system. But the ones that are the most dangerous are on the list that doesn't exist. Anyway, just correlation. See, that's what I do when I have too much time on my hands. The old brain goes and this is what I think about when I'm mowing and stuff. My brain never stops. I would love to get to a point where we live in a country again where I can, when I'm going fishing or I'm out in the woods walking around or out there in the pastures fencing, I can sit there and think about how, I mean, I do stop at times. And I've shown videos of that where I just stop and consume nature. Okay. But a lot of it in my brain never stops. All these facts pouring in from history, comparing it to history from years ago, from millennial ago, from the Roman Empire. And then we got a deal of Nazis and communists combining, which is unheard of. Like I tell, that tells me the elites of the world are not fighting with each other at all. They've already got the plan. All right. So anyway, I've been going about 40 minutes. I have 20 more minutes to go. By the way, but if you're old like me, remember the movies, Carol? I don't know how old are you, Guardian, but back in the 70s and 80s, the Cold War movies we would see. Remember Firefox, the ultimate Cold War movie? Him having to go through, just remember that movie with him going through Russia and stuff? And us watching that, be like, damn, I'd never want to live in that shit. Besides, it was a cool-ass movie. But, you know, and then all the movies that we saw pertaining to the Berlin Wall. Yeah, I know, Carol, you're 58. I know you were older than me. Yeah, Clint Eastwood was in Firefox. Badass movie. For its time, completely badass. Yes, that was Clint Eastwood. I saw that movie in the theater. What, God, I could have been. I think that was a late 70s movie, wasn't it? I was probably 11, 12 maybe when I saw that movie. You know the first concert I went to? The first concert I went to, I was 12 years old. And my brother my older brother who had just turned 16, got his car and stuff. And they had got 2 tickets, and somebody was supposed to go with them, and they had to cancel. So I was a 12-year-old. I got to go to Billy Joel, his Glass Houses tour. Remember that? Glass Houses? Oh, yeah. That was something. That was an experience for a 12-year-old. Big old, the Civic Center in St. Paul, I think it was. I don't think it's in Minneapolis. I think it's in St. Paul. But, oh, yeah. That was an awesome show. I remember the saxophone guy got the most applause, really. So anyway, interesting, you know, memory of the past and stuff, but you couldn't get me in something like that these days. Nope. Anyway, but back to this surveillance state. Okay. All the jokes we used to have, you know, everybody, the movies you'd have where the FBI was putting bugs in your house, not insect bugs, but, you know, listening devices in your house and stuff. All the movies they had about that, you know, and stuff, and how it was so illegal and everybody was against it and stuff. And this is the insanity in today's world. It's like nobody even cares when they're totally being spied on. I'm sure there's something in the bedroom that they buy that has a camera or at least a microphone on it. I know I wouldn't want to be the person in charge of watching that shit, but I'm sure they got some sickos out there that would like that. Now the bugs are all on the smartphone and TV. Yeah, and the fridges, and your lamps in your house, and your stoves, and everything is listening to you. It's beyond crazy. Imagine if they used all this technology instead of trying to figure, you know, get more information on us, turned it around and tried to use information to make things better for us. Instead of using it for control, use it to sit there and make us more free. And watching, I believe. Yeah. I mean, of course they are. You walk through a big city and they think, you know, they got all these people watching these cameras. I heard London's the worst. They can track somebody from the time they come in that city, everywhere they go. So you come in there, you look suspicious. They're watching every little thing. In America, that needs to be against the law if that's happening. That's against your Fourth Amendment, okay? Because in today's world, with the people that we got, in charge that think there's no list? Well, there are going to see a lot of other stuff that doesn't exist too, okay? And you can get pitted with it. This surveillance state's crazy. You know, people sit there, oh, Trump's trying to create a police state with all this ICE and stuff. No, the police state was created back in, I think it was 95. It was. Maybe it was 94 when Clinton just wanted to put 100,000 more cops on the street. I think it was 95 when it got approved, right? Well, guess what? That started the police state, buddy. Some of those cameras have facial recognition and ID you immediately. Yeah. Yeah. How is that constitutional? This is just beyond surveillance state. This is where it adds to the insanity of the human race. We're allowing this. And a lot of us older people have a problem with this because we just grew up with, we didn't like people spying on us. It was just a bad thing. We had our privacy. Okay? As kids, we always complained about our privacy. My God, no privacy. Yeah, well, that's exactly what I'm saying. No privacy. Yeah, I don't like all the cameras. Like, say, you want to hear a story about cameras and how long they've been up? Get this, okay? This is going to be strange, but I lived in Minnesota at the time. This would have been probably 2005. That might have been, yeah, probably 2005 would have been the year. And I listened to Coast AM with George Norrie and Art Bell. George Norrie had pretty much taken over then. And I'm listening to this guy, and I deliver papers at night, newspapers for this company from town to town, in small towns, all right? And all of us, and I mean small town, rural Minnesota, okay? Where your biggest towns are a couple thousand people and your smaller towns are only a couple hundred. And I'm driving through the night, dropping papers off at this town for local deliveries and businesses so they can sell it. Anyway, I'm listening to the radio, and this guy's talking about cameras that are set up across the country. And this is a true story, I shit you not. He's talking about Sanborn, Minnesota. And I drive through that town, plus I grew up in that area, you know, just a town away from Sanborn. But, you know, he's talking about where this camera is on what's going out of town, on what side of town by the golf course. Telling me on the radio, right? And I'm like, no way, right? There's a reason why you listen to this shit. But anyway, I leave town going west, go down the hill by the golf course, and lo and behold, there's a goddamn fucking camera right where that guy said, in a town that had maybe 400 people in it. You know, Little House in the Prairieville, where the book took place, not where the TV show took place. Oh, yeah. Here on a radio show. So I can sit there, this guy's full of shit. And you know the thing about it? Is that just seemed to be the place where it's convenient for me to stop and take a piss. So most every morning I went through there, I don't know, about, it was 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning around when I went through that area. And I'd always stop there, and it was right under a light, and I'd stop and take a piss. Now, do you think I stopped taking a piss there? No. I just moved towards the camera. And this was back in 2005. Why they had a camera out in Nowhereville's Sanborn, Minnesota, on the back road going to Lamberton, I have no clue. But it was there, and that guy wasn't lying. I don't know where he got that information, but it was factoid on. Oh, yeah, that would have been after the Patriot Bill now, wouldn't have it? Crazy time. Crazy time. So you're talking already from 2004, 2005, when I'm officially hearing on Coast to Coast AM from a guest that's telling me about cameras in a town where I think he's completely full of shit, has to be, because I don't know what the hell the town had to hide. I grew up in the area. I don't remember there are no government facilities anywhere close. Crazy time. But yeah, what do you do when you get hit with truth like that? Oh yeah, but I never stopped taking a piss there. That's what Wolf does when he gets pissed. Fuck you, okay? I don't have a problem saying it. As an American, I was proud. As a Marine serving my country, I was even prouder. And when I sit there, the proudest moment of my life is when I get to serve, taking our country back. Okay? From proud to prouder to proudest. Being a citizen, to being a Marine, to being a patriot, saving my country. That's my level of being proud. Everybody like that? Think that'd be a good short tomorrow? I tell you what, YouTube slam, bam, thank you, man. They don't want to hear my shit. Like I say, you need to go check out my shorts, man, that I've been driving YouTube crazy. I'm sure I may have fried a few chips today, so stop talking. Oh, you want me to talk more? I love it when people sit there and try to tell me what to do. I mean, it just don't work. It just don't work. I mean, if you don't have the grit to drive in either lead me, follow me, or get the fuck out of my way. That was our motto when in the Marine Corps. Lead me, follow me, or get the fuck out of my way. Yeah, well, the thing is, watch these videos on these trolls, man. On YouTube, these trolls are like Tommy Tough Knuckles, okay? So this is what happens when boys are not allowed to sit there and do anything masculine to join the men, the alpha male ranks, okay? And they turn into, I don't know, like a dog that's been fixed. They need a knuckle sandwich. Well, why? That's not going to fix them. I got a prankster coming up to me and touches me. This is the thing, okay? And I hate to say it, but a lot of vets are this way. If you come into my personal space, especially if I don't see you at first, you're going to the floor so fast. The worst position you could ever be in with me is grab me from behind. I will have you on the floor so goddamn fast with all my weight coming right down on your fucking chest. And all I got to do is make one simple move and basically jump up and fall over. But, I would do that without thinking. My body would automatically do it. And then after I realized what the fuck was going on, dealing with vets is a bad thing. Because the thing is, we don't want to become what we know we can become. And it's amazing how we got moronic sons of bitches who play Call of Duty that want to push us into combat mode, thinking it's funny. But anyway, and then these trolls, what the hell do you do? They'll never, whatever, they're not scary. They're pieces of garbage. because I put my 60-second delay on. They want to support the channel by making a comment or whatever. J99, I know you understand. And they say we're all fucking crazy. Well, no shit. What do you got to turn somebody into that, I mean, made us into people that killed people and blew shit up. Hey, do you think we might have problems in the civilian world? And civilians may not understand us or our intensity? And then they say we have no control. Okay, how many civilians out there could, I don't know, have training in explosives like some of us might have? And have the control not to use that knowledge to sit there and put an end to this shit. But I guess I'm not as experienced, though, as an 18-year-old nerd who can outfox the military, the Secret Service, and the cops and get on top of a building and be able to take a pot shot at the president, but people on the ground could see him before he shot. I guess I'm not that trained. Anybody believe that story? Do you believe that, J99? Do you believe that's possible? Goddamn, a troop of Boy Scouts could have protected him better. And then like this shooter in Idaho, I don't buy it for a second. I think there were other people up there. And after the shooting stopped, the cops got there and stuff. They shot him and then they left. They shot him, not the cops. His people that were using him for a patsy off his ass. Now, prove me wrong by showing me the bullet that killed him and the cop's gun it came from. Because I'm sure they were using assault rifles. They wouldn't have been shooting up there with pistols, so you're probably only dealing with a few assault rifles. I'm just curious. It was too much, J99, would you agree? Too much military tactics that went with it. For a 20-year-old who wants to be a firefighter, okay, I can understand if you want to be Rambo, you'd understand. Read up on tactics and stuff. But the classic thing, Collins, just like it was done like a terrorist attack. You know, they have the little explosion and then they get the first responders in there and the people around, and then the real attack comes. I'm just saying. You know, I hate knowing what I know. I hate having to experience what I experienced, but I can't take it away. And I'm not going to sit there and buy the official line on it no more, because remember, there's no list. Well, I'm just not going to give that up, am I? Like I say, if we can't prosecute the worst among us, like I say, listen to that Predator against Predator short. Then I got somebody, that ain't a movie. Really? I don't know. It just came up on my feed once and I watched it and say, yeah, it's pretty cool. You know, I like the Predator series. I got Aliens versus Predator. I actually like the thing about the first one is, okay, I was in the military when it came out, okay? So obviously I look at things through a different lens. And when I got to see somebody with a Gatling gun mow down a forest with all that ammo he shot, who was carrying all that again? Where was his A gunner with all the fucking ammo containers just continuously putting the belt together? I mean, are you fucking kidding me? See, that's the thing about being a cowboy, watching westerns. I can watch a western and tell which movie actors know how to ride a horse and tell which movies don't know how to ride a horse. Just by watching the way they're on a horse. Watching how the horse is reacting. A lot of times when a rider gets on a horse where, you know, the rider don't know what the fuck's doing, the horse puts his ears back because it doesn't like it. When the horse is smarter than the rider on top of him, the horse doesn't like it. So anyway, I used to be at that level once. But I worked my ass off, put extra hours in, riding in that indoor arena, doing circles on my horse, learning how to rope and stuff, learning about, I knew about cattle, but I didn't know about open range cattle and stuff. Cool, I got taught my lesson that time. They brought this idiot cowboy wanted to be a cowboy, went out and brought a cow in. He was supposed to bring a sick one, and this is how Haney would test you. Go out and get that. There's a sick cow out there. Go get her. And there's a group of about 600 cows about 2 miles away. Well, anyway, he brings this cow in, and she isn't sick. She ain't the right one. And she's all pissed, and she gets caught in the fence where the houses are at. And I'm from Minnesota. I'm used to deal with the cows that run, right? I get in front of her, waves my hand, and go, ooh. She looks at me, and I know she's coming at me, right? She takes off, and I got a house in front of me, and good thing I slipped. Because if I went to slip and fell on the ground, she would have nailed me right into the house with her chest, with her head. That might have killed me. Well, it could have killed me. But anyway, I slipped, and I fell on the ground. So what'd she do? She's grinding me into the ground and stomping on me and grinding me in the ground and stomping on me and did it again, grinding me in the ground and stomping on me. And I'm just in the fetal position, right? And she finally gets up and walks away. And I swear to God, that cow had a smile on her face, right? I get up and I'm not even hurt. I'm pissed. I'm pissed at it. I go, God damn. I said a few choice words and stuff. And I learned my lesson. When you're dealing with these pastures and these range cows, they're a wild animal, okay? There's not some cow that you have in a feedlot somewhere. Hey, you got to make life exciting everywhere. I'm not afraid to sit here and say that I started out stupid and I learned. And one thing about me, when I learn something, whether I like it, doing it or not, if I got to do a job I don't like, I still do it 100%. I learn to perfect it, learn to just make it as efficient as possible because that's my character. Okay? And that's why when I start making money on YouTube and stuff, and I can do what I really want on YouTube, and we can take our country back, I'll be just as successful there. Maybe I won't have a problem being successful, making people laugh and having a production on YouTube without having to get all my gander up all the time. Anyway, just a dream of the future. Okay? And then also get better at piano so I can have my piano channel. Just, this is the thing when you get older, okay? You realize there's only a few hours in a day. And I tell you what, 24 hours goes real fast. Real fast. And if you only sleep for 7 hours, that gives you 17 hours. It's not enough time. That's why when you get older, time flies by. It's like, shit, wasn't it just last month, yesterday? I mean, anyway, you know what I mean. It flies by. That's why I drive slower, because I want to experience a little bit of life instead of watching it fly by. God dang it, I wish I had an anchor I could throw out stop time a little bit, just so I could catch up on the stuff I need to get done. Anybody agree with me? And then, let's not forget, the older you get, especially if you like doing a lot of stuff, well, you just got that many more hobbies. I mean, I just got a lot of hobbies. And then getting work done, making money and stuff, being able to make a living. That's why it'd be nice if I could start at least getting an audience on YouTube so I could really put out some good content. Okay? I want to dress it up. But this is all I can afford right now. But I will work on those shirts. Anyway, I sure appreciate everybody being here. I've been in on almost an hour and 5 minutes. I got to get to bed. So everybody have a great night. I hope you enjoyed the time. Remember, your phone is always listening. And the government's always willing to come out and touch someone, all right? There's so many cracks I can make up about the stuff that I heard on the commercials and stuff when I was growing up compared to today. Oh, I mean, I'm sitting there walking all these shorts that I come up with in my head that I could make. I don't even make even 10% of the ones I come up with. Otherwise, I'd be on YouTube all day long and people would think I was nuts. No, I just teasing the Twilight Zone, everybody. Boy, when you can see the forest through the trees. Anyway, when something bad happens in this country, like 9/11 again, when the next day when everybody saw the forest through the trees, except for the cloudy part, what the government was trying to do with the Patriot Bill and stuff, taking our rights. Anyway, we all came together. It'll happen again, everybody. So, anyway, everybody have a great night, and I will see you tomorrow night. And I don't know what the subject's going to be about tonight because we haven't seen the news in the next 24 hours. Something could change 5 minutes before I come on the air. So, anyway, I'll see everybody tomorrow night. Everybody have a great night. This is Tom with Hidden Truths. I'm out of here.